Hello everybody. So we were at the park and I'm gonna be reading a book because why not? It's called Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I'm gonna read it. Okay, wait, hold on, let me find it. Okay. It's the first part is called The Different Rules of Summer. And then we're at chapter 1. Chapter 1. One summer night, I fell asleep, hoping the world would be different when I woke. In the morning, when I opened my eyes, the world was the same. I threw off the sheets and lay there as the heat poured in through my open window. My hand reached for the dial on the radio. Alone was playing. Crap. Alone was a song by a group called Heart. Not my favorite song. Not my favorite group. Not my favorite topic. You don't know how long. I was 15, I was born, and I was miserable. As far as I was concerned, the sun could have melted the blue right off the sky. The sky could be as miserable as I was. The DJ was saying annoying obvious things like it's summer, it's hot out there. And then he put on that retro long ranger tune, something he liked to play every morning because he thought it was a hip way to wake up the world. Hey yo, Silver, who hired this guy? He was killing me. I think that as we listened to the William Tell overture, we were supposed to be imagining the Lone Ranger and the Tonto riding their horses through the desert. Maybe someone should have told the guy that we aren't all 10-year-olds old anymore. Hey yo, Silver, crap. The DJ's voice was on the airwaves again. Wake up, El Paso. It's Monday, June 15, 1987. 1987. Can you believe it? Any big happy birthday goes to Waylon Jennings, who's 50 years old today. Waylon Jennings? This was a rock station, damn it. But then he said something that hinted at the fact that he might have a brain. He told a story about how Waylon Jennings had survived the 1959 plane crash that killed Buddy Holly and Richie Valens. I don't know how to say that name. On that note, he put on the remake of La Bamba by Los Lobos. La Bamba. I could have coped with that. I tapped my bare feet on the wood floor as I nodded my head to the beat. I started wondering what had gone through Richie Valens' head before the plane crashed into the unforgiving ground. Hey buddy, the music's over. For the music to be over so soon, for the music to be over when it had just begun, that was really sad. I walked into the kitchen, chapter 2. I walked into the kitchen. My mom was preparing lunch for a meeting with her Catholic Church lady friends. I poured myself a glass of orange juice. My mom smiled at me. Are you going to say good morning? I'm thinking about it, I said. Well, at least you dragged yourself out of bed. I had to think about it for a long time. Was it about boys and sleep? We're good at it. That made her laugh. Anyways, I wasn't sleeping. I was listening to La Bamba. Richie Valens, she said, almost whispering. So sad. Just like your pasticlina. She nodded. Sometimes I caught her singing that song crazy and I'd smile. She'd smile. It was like we shared a secret. My mom, she had a nice voice. Plane crashes, my mom whispered. Okay. I think she was talking more to herself than me. Maybe Richie Valens died young, but he did something. I mean, he really did something. Me? What have I done? You have time, she said. There's plenty of time. The internal optimist. Well, you have to become a person first, I said. She gave me a funny look. I'm 15. I know how old you are. 15-year-olds don't qualify as people. My mom laughed. She was a high school teacher. I knew she half agreed with me. So what's the big meeting about? We're reorganizing the food bank. Food bank? Everyone should eat. My mom had a thing for the poor. She'd been there. She knew things about hunger that I never know. Yeah, I said, I guess so. Maybe you can help us out? Sure, I said. I hated being volunteered. The problem with my life was that it was someone else's idea. What are you going to do today? It sounded like a challenge. I'm going to join a gang. That's not funny. I'm Mexican. Isn't that what we do? Not funny. Not funny, I said. Okay, not funny. I had the urge to leave the house. Not that I had to go anywhere when my mom had her Catholic church lady friends over. I felt like I was suffocating. It wasn't so much that all her friends were over 50. That that wasn't it. It wasn't even all the comments about how I was turning into a man right before their eyes. I mean, I knew bullshit when I heard it. And as bullshit went, it was the nice, harmless, affectionate kind. I could handle them grabbing me by my shoulders and saying, let me look at you, déjame ver. Ay muchacho tan guapo, te parece a tu papá. Not that there was anything to look at, it was just me, and yeah, I looked like my dad. I didn't think it was such a great thing. But really bugged the living crap out of me was that my mother had more friends than I did. How sad was that? I decided to go swimming at the Memorial Park pool. It was a small idea, but at least the idea was mine. As I was walking out the door, my mom took the old towel I'd slung over my shoulder and exchanged it for a better one. There were certain towel rules that existed in my mom's world that I just didn't get. But rules didn't stop at towels. She looked at my t-shirt. I knew it looked like disapproval when I saw one. Before she made me change, I gave her one of my own looks. It's my favorite t-shirt, I said. Didn't you wear that yesterday? Yes, it's Carlos Santa. I know who it is, she said. Dad gave it to me on my birthday. As I recall, you didn't seem all that thrilled when you opened your father's gift. I was hoping for something else. Something else? I don't know. Something else. A t-shirt for my birthday? I looked at my mom. I guess I just don't understand him. He's not that complicated, Ari. He doesn't talk. Sometimes people talk, they don't always tell the truth. I guess so, I said. Anyway, I'm really into this t-shirt now. I can see that. She was smiling. I was smiling too. Dad got it at his first concert. I was there. I remember. It's old and ratty. I'm sentimental. Sure you are. Mom, it's summer. Yes, she said. It is summer. Different rules, I said. Different rules, she repeated. I loved the different rules of summer. My mom endured them. She reached over and caught my hair with her fingers. Promise me you won't wear it tomorrow. Okay, I said. I promise. But only if you promise not to put it in the dryer. Maybe I'll let you wash it yourself. She smiled at me. Don't drown. I smiled back. If I do, don't give my dog away. The dog thing was a joke. We didn't have one. Mom got my sense of humor. I got hers. We were good at that. We were good that way. Not that she was something of a mystery. One thing that I completely got. I got why my father fell in love with her. Why she fell in love with my father was something I still couldn't wrap my head around. Once, when I was about 6 or 7, I was really mad at my father because I wanted him to play with me and he just seemed so far away. It was like I wasn't even there. I asked my mom with all my boyhood anger, how could he have married that guy? She smiled and combed my hair with her fingers. That was always her thing. She looked straight into my eyes and said calmly, your father was beautiful. She didn't even hesitate. I wanted to ask her what happened to all that beauty. Chapter 3. When I went into the heat of the day, even the lizards knew better than to be crawling around. Even the birds were laying low. The tarred patches on the crest of the street were melting. The blue of the sky was pale, and it occurred to me that maybe everybody had fled the city in its heat. Or maybe everyone had died like in one of those sci-fi flicks. And I was the last boy on Earth. But just as that thought ran through my head, a pack of guys who lived in a neighborhood passed me on their bikes, making me wish I was the last boy on Earth. They were laughing and messing around, and they seemed like they were having a good time. One of the guys yelled at me, "Hey Mendoza, hanging out with all your friends?" I waved, pretending to be a good sport, ha ha ha, and then I flipped him the bird. One of the guys stopped, turned around and started circling me on his bike. You want to do that again, he said. I gave him the bird again. He stopped his bike right in front of me and tried to stare me down. It wasn't working. I know who he was. His brother Javier had tried to mess with me once. I punched the guy, enemies for life. I wasn't sorry. Well, yeah, I had a temper, I admit it. He put on his mean voice like it scared me. Don't screw with me, Mendoza. I gave him the bird again and pointed at his face just like it was a gun. He took off on his bike. There were a lot of things I was afraid of, but not guys like him. Most guys don't screw with me, not even guys who ran around in packs. They all passed me on their bikes again and yelling stuff. They were all 13 and 14, and messing with guys like me was just a game for them. As their voices faded, I started feeling sorry for myself. Feeling sorry for myself was an art. I think a part of me liked doing that. Maybe I had to do something with my birth order. You know, I think I was part of it. I did not like the fact that I was a pseudo only child. I don't know how else to think of myself. I was an only child without actually being one. That sucked. My twin sisters were 12 years older. 12 years of a lifetime. I swear it was. They always made me feel like a baby or a toy or a project or a pet. I'm really into dogs, but sometimes I got the feeling that I was nothing more than a family mascot. And that's a Spanish word for a dog who's a pet family. Mascoto, mascot. Right, Ari, the family mascot. And my brother, who was 11 years older, was even less accessible to me than my sisters. I couldn't even mention his name. Who the hell does it talk about older brothers who are in prison? Not my mom and my dad, that was for sure. Not my sisters either. Maybe all that silence about my brother did something to me. I think it did. Not only can you not talking can make a guy pretty lonely. My parents were young and struggling with my sisters and brother were born. Well, my parents were young, struggling when my sisters and brother were born. Struggling is my parents' favorite word. Sometime after 3 children and trying to finish college, my father joined the Marines and then he went off to war. The war changed him. I was born when he came home. Sometimes I think my father has all these scars on his heart, in his head, all over. It's not such an easy thing to be the son of a man who has been at war. When I was 8, I overheard my mom talking to my aunt Ophelia on the phone. I don't think that war will ever be over for him. Later, I asked my aunt Ophelia if that was true. Yes, she said, it's true. But why won't the father leave my dad alone? Because your father has a conscience, she said. What happened to him in the war? No one knows. Why won't he tell? Because he can't. And so that's the way it was. When I was 8, I didn't know anything about the war. I didn't even know what a conscience was. All I knew is that sometimes my father was sad. I hated that he was sad. It made me sad too. I didn't like sad. So I was the son of a man who had Vietnam living inside him. Yeah, I had all the kinds of tragic reasons for feeling sorry for myself. Being 15 didn't help. Sometimes I thought that being 15 was the worst tragedy of all. When I got to the pool, I had to take a shower. That was one of the rules. Yeah, rules. I hated taking a shower with a bunch of other guys. I don't know. I just didn't like that. You know, some guys just like to talk a lot. Like it was a normal thing to be in a shower with a bunch of guys and talking about the teacher you hated, or the last movie you saw, or the girl you wanted to do something with. Not me. I don't have anything to say. Guys in the shower, not my thing. I walked to the pool and sat on a shallow side and put my feet in the water. What do you do in a pool when you don't know how to swim? Learn. I guess that wasn't the answer. I had managed to teach my body to stay afloat on the water. Somehow I'd stumbled on some principle of physics. And the best part of the whole thing was that I'd made discovery all on my own. I was in love with that phrase. I wasn't very good at asking for help. A bad habit I inherited it from my father. And anyway, the swimming instructors who called themselves lifeguards sucked. They weren't all that interested in teaching this skinny 15-year-old punk how to swim. They were pretty much interested in girls that suddenly sprouted breasts. They were obsessed with breasts, that's the truth. I heard one of the lifeguards talking to one of the other lifeguards as he was supposed to be watching a group of little kids. A girl is like a tree covered with leaves. You just want to climb up and tear those leaves off. The other guy laughed. You're an asshole, he said. Nah, I'm a poet, he said. A poet of the body. And then they both burst out laughing. Sure, they were budding wet men, the two of them. See, the thing about guys is that I don't really care to be around them. I mean, guys really made me uncomfortable. I don't know why, not exactly. I just don't know. I just didn't belong. I think it embarrassed the hell out of me that I was a guy. And it really depressed me that there was a distinct possibility that I was going to grow up and be one of those assholes. A girl is like a tree, yeah, and the guy is about as smart as a piece of dead wood infested with termites. My mom would have said that they were just going through a phase.